Welcome to Hobby Clubhouse with a review of the Bandai high-grade after-war 1144 Gundam Airmaster. The one I have here is a little bit smashed up because it's old stock that's been sitting on a store shelf since 2014, and you can even see the Lucky Draw campaign sticker on it from over 6 years ago. Now, the situation with Gundam X in the HG line has been really odd, with the main cast covering even the Airmaster burst, but yet Bandai refuses to release the Gundam Leopard, even though they already made like half of it with the head and the torso on the Gundam Leopard Da Vinci, so we can have half of it, but we can't have the rest of it. But if you like Gundam X, you already know you picked a tough road in life, and I feel for you, man. The Gundam Airmaster was released back in July 2014 with a listed price of 1,870 yen. The box is the HG standard of 30 by 19 by 9.5 centimeters. The box art is credited to Kama, though I'm not sure if this is a single person or a group of people, and I couldn't find any information on them online. The box comes at the very tail end of when Bandai still only had Japanese on their Gundam model boxes, so you'll recognize the layout of studio shots and the details on the side of the box, but you won't be able to read most of it. Inside the box, you get the Airmaster across 8 runners, with one being the polycaps. Notably, there are no multicolored runners and there are no clear parts. There is a small sheet of foil stickers with a sticker for the eyes, and then a green one for the head camera, and then one more for the back of the head. And then the black lines here each go on to the armor panels on the shoulders. The instructions repeat most of the information already given on the box, and the MS profile down here recounts some of the stories from the animation, like activating the flash system. The other colored page elaborates on the weapons, and I actually never realized the Airmaster didn't have any melee weapons at all, so it has the kick like Char. The MS info here is just copy-pasted from the box, so that's a bit of a minimal effort. The rest of the color pages are for assembly and transformation. And on the back, on the black and white pages, these are all assembly instructions. And a little under 2 hours later, we have the assembled Gundam Airmaster, and this is another case where everything in the box is all in this shot here, but we'll get to that in a little bit. First, the coloring at least is nice, and it has no trouble looking complete and like an Airmaster should, so if you love the MS, this is a fine kit to own. And to me, the Airmaster always looked a little bit like a Transformer with the red head and the white mask, which is odd since he really does transform, and maybe now you can't unsee that after this. And as good as the color separation is, there are a few spots that are uncolored and they don't have any stickers, like the back of the wings on the shoulders here, and then also the tip of the missiles, and then this part on the side skirt which is supposed to be white. But these are mostly things that you're not going to notice until someone mentions them. But going back to the lack of accessories, one problem is that you only get these trigger finger hands, so even when the Airmaster is not holding any of its weapons, you still have to have these hands, which feel as if Bandai really didn't care a whole lot for this kit when they made it. I mean, you can say that the Airmaster didn't have much of anything to begin with and the kit isn't missing anything, but it's also a little bit hard to say what else they could have included to make this kit not feel as bare bones. What we do get are a pair of Buster Rifles, which I'm convinced is named that only because it's a lazy way to remind us of the Wing Gundam. The guns are 2 pieces sandwiched together, as these things are, and at the butt of each rifle there's a little slit for mounting the gun. The 2 guns are mirrored copies of each other, so they aren't exactly the same. Now, one big flaw of the guns here are that they don't fit the hands well at all, and they're gonna wobble around on all sides. And if this is the only weapon he's gonna be holding, well, that's a big problem. I mean, the only other weapon we get, if you can call it that, are these shoulder missiles, and that really is their name. It feels like I'm picking on the Airmaster, but these really do look a bit silly to me. They look like something a child might draw, and they're so big. So you get 2 of these really large things that don't really seem to do much more than the beam rifle already could, and they look really easy to shoot down, or even worse, they look like a great thing to aim at if you're against the Airmaster. But anyway, the missiles are mounted with a slit on the bottom, so that makes them look a little bit strange if you look from the down up. The slits mount onto these gray bases, and the gray bases fit onto the shoulder, and you can remove these if you want. The backs of the missiles are hollow, but the holes are also 3mm, so they will work with an action base for display, and that's a plus. But sure, it may not have a lot of fancy weapons, but it transforms, so let's see how that works. You turn it into the fighter mode by first removing the head and then also the neck polycap. Then you lift up the shoulders armor panels, and then you rotate the back wings to the side and up. Then you turn the arms back into a Naruto run position, and then you swing the entire chest assembly up 90 degrees. Next, you rotate the lower body all the way around, which I'm not sure how that helps anything, but the Wing Gundam does this too. The toes need to be folded down to finish this section's transformation. Then, you need to hinge the forearms a little bit forwards, which gives you the clearance needed under the wings to mount the Buster Rifles onto the side of the arms. Finally, you pull this cover off the chest, and then you pull the front nozzle onto the back into place. Armor piece goes onto the bottom of the nozzle like this. And now we have the Airmaster's trans system at work in its fighter mode. As far as transformations go, it's not too bad. It's not quite just the MS planking with the shield on its face, and it's not as messy and complicated as a Zeta Gundam. Now, I'm not so sure if any kid ever felt super thrilled about this, and this was ever a reason anyone bought this kit, but I think it looks different enough from the base MS that it adds to the kit and the character reasonably well. The fighter mode works with an action base, and you can connect it by taking off this small little panel on the back skirt, which reveals a 3mm hole. So going back to the MS mode, let's look at the articulation starting from the head, which swings back and upwards a good bit, and then it dips down barely at all. The head can rotate around a full circle. The shoulders swing forward a bit thanks to the polycap. The ball joint lets you adjust the angle of the whole shoulder. The arms swing outwards almost 90 degrees. And the entire arm can swing up, but the armor panel will limit how far up it goes. And it's even more restrictive in the other direction with the big wings quickly getting in the way. But if you move the wings up, the arms can go all the way back. The biceps give you a full rotation of the lower arm. The elbow is a double joint and they can go a bit over 160 degrees. The hands are on the ball joint so you can adjust the angle or rotate it in a full circle. The upper torso can swing on an axis as we've seen during the transformation, but this unfortunately is really loose and it's gonna rattle around a little bit. The waist strangely has no bend forward or backwards, even though it's separated into two different segments. It does rotate all the way around because that's needed for the transformation. The front skirts can be cut apart and they move independently upwards like so. The side skirts can be lifted up a little bit, and the back skirt is fixed and it's not going to move. The legs can swing outwards, but the side skirts are going to limit how far it goes. The thigh rotates, but they do get blocked and can't do a full rotation. They kick forwards, but the joint of the side skirt catches the thigh, which is a strange cause for not letting it do a full 90-degree kick. The back skirt limits how far the legs go back. The knees are double jointed and they can bend close to 160 degrees. The small armor piece at the front here hinges up and down, and the feet swing up this much, and they go backwards this much. And they go side to side only a little bit. And the toes can fold because of the transformation. Lastly, back on the shoulders, we have the front armor panel, which swings along on a hinge. And the wings have a combo joint, which rotates along a peg, and they also swing up on an axis, which is a simple and elegant design that allows the wings to rotate into position really nicely. The nose of the fighter mode is on the back, and they can be pulled forward as we've already seen in the transformation. So all in all, the articulation hits all the notes you'd expect, and it'll do everything you need it to do without any problems. So with all that said, here's the Hobby Clubhouse 3-point verdict for the HG Afterwar Gundam Airmaster. Number 1. It's either a simple kit or a simple MS. The kit certainly is very bare bones, there's no question about that, but it's really hard to say if that's more of the fault of the MS's design or a kit of which Bandai didn't care too much about. The Airmaster isn't missing anything, but problems like the single pair of hands also can't easily be dismissed. It's not ripping you off for anything for the price, but you're not gonna feel entirely fulfilled. Number 2. The fighter mode is decent. Now, no one's gonna buy this for the fighter mode, but it's also not gonna be something you hate for being there. and you don't get the feeling that Bandai is trying to dupe you into buying a kit by laying flat and then having it go, look, it's transformed. It's a part of the character and it adds something meaningful to the kit. Number 3, there are glaring design flaws. The rattling chest feels like something the engineer could have fixed and should have fixed before pushing this out onto the market, but it didn't happen. The same goes with the loose guns in the hands, which I'm sure Bandai knew about and they didn't find this kit worthwhile to fix and refine. And that should be something to consider if you want this kit. Bandai didn't think you were worth the effort to fix these problems, and that hurts if you're a fan of Gundam X. Now I think these 2 problems are bad enough for someone to not buy this kit, because it affects how deeply and how much you enjoy this kit when you handle it. So that's a review for the HG Gundam Airmaster. It's a bit of an unlucky kit, just like the entire Gundam X series, and it was born into Sunrise and Bandai's darkest era for the Gundam series, and that bad blood haunts it far into the future in this kit. But you know what? The fans of the Gundam X series are some dedicated people, and they love all of it despite Sunrise and Bandai not loving them back much at all. Thank you so much for watching. Come look us up on social media with updates on upcoming videos. Links are in the description below. Or hang out here some more with one of these other videos. But before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos from Hobby Clubhouse, and I'll see you next time.